Today I'm going to show you how I took this and this and this, even this, and finally this, and incorporated it into my 6/6 journaling. Let's get started. Okay, here we go with the January flip. I'm excited to show you this journal. Look how it's already getting thick. I love it. It's going to be a beautiful journal when it's done. So let's go ahead and start. I have not done my first opening pages yet, but here's the first week in January, and this big is just letters that I got from a magazine. You remember how I showed you I stored them in little pockets by the alphabet, and so I just put that in there. I did some doodling. I've got a flip in here that I just added, and just some doodles, washi tape, just various things that I had. So that's the first page. And then the second week, again, another flip. We had a lot of snow, so I got a picture of Mozzie in the snow. And again, I have a lot of washi tape, some headlines that came out of a magazine, a Somerset magazine. This is something that I found on Kelly Ray Roberts' blog, and I really liked it. And if you can't read it, let me just quickly go through it. It says, anything that scares us, yet consistently calls us toward it, is something worth listening to. And that really spoke to me, so I had to put it in my journal. And then this is actually washi tape that's by inches. This is when we had snow, and so I put that in there. The third week of January, let's see, I had a haircut. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but every time I have a haircut, I use a rabbit and a haircut, H-A-R-E. Yeah. Anyway, I do that every single time. And I have a flip in here and just different things that I liked. Flower, a little bit of washi tape, and then this was some paper that I had left over sitting on my desk, and I used it as a border. A lot of writing this week. And then the last week, nope, we still have one more week. So this is the third week in January. And I don't know if you guys can see this well enough. There's a heart right here. And this is from the snow and how it melted on our trees. I loved it. So I snapped a picture of it. And I had this blank space. And I actually left it for 2 weeks. I did not know what to put in there. I just, because I had writing here and a picture here and a graphic here, I honestly didn't know what to do there. So I just left it, and I thought, I'll figure it out and I'll come back to it. Well, what I ended up doing was just making this color swatches. So I had Jane Davenport collage their napkins. Let me show you. And I cut them out so they look like this. I just cut them out. Actually, I tore them out. And I just put them on here and then wrote the colors just because I needed something there. And then I had a stamp, a circle stamp, and I just stamped on black and then added some white just because I wanted to have a little something there. So that worked out really well. I liked how it filled that space. And this was just a journaling card that I had, so I attached that to it. Let's see, a little bit of stain back here just to set off that piece. And that was just this, to the Distress Stain, Tim Holtz. This happened to be Spice Marmalade. And you'll actually find that I use this quite a bit. You just do a couple swipes, it doesn't go through, and it's perfect. A little tribute to Mary Tyler Moore. This is a painted circle that you've seen before in my journal. And then went and saw Hidden Figures, and I just put the ticket in there. That was an awesome movie, really good. This was a little guy from a kid's book. I cut him out. And then this was the last week in January and the first week of February. And what do I want to show you on here? Oh, so the nail polish bottles that I showed you in the beginning. And I just added some doodling over it. And then I used my circle template that I've shown before, and I just colored them in. I just laid it down there. I found a progression that I liked, and actually they're all just varying a little bit. These are too. Sometimes I just use the same size and move it, but just use a black marker and colored that in. So I think that's it for the weeks. And so now let me show you the 6/6 part, the art journaling. So when I started this, I thought that I would do a spread every week along with my everyday journaling. Well, it turns out it takes me a lot longer to do an art journal page. So I'm not doing one spread every week. I'm just doing them as I have time. And that's fine. It's working out okay. So this one I gave you a sneak peek on from the first video. And this was just a picture I found on Pinterest, and it looked a lot like Mozzie. And so I put that in there along with a picture of him. And then in the background is one of the jelly prints that I made. And the same thing with this. This is a jelly print. And then this is the ice cream dish that I showed you in the beginning. So you can see here I turned it upside down. And then I just added some buttons, and I just kind of doodled in. I had these legs. This is the macaroni noodles. I just cut one of those out and made them arms. And then these are mushrooms. And I just, again, cut them out, stuck them behind her head, his head, I guess her head, and then just doodled in them. And one of the things that I like to do on any graphics, whether it's these or in my everyday journal, is I use colored pencils a lot, and I intensify the colors. I really like the way that looks. And so I just added some of the colored pencil, and then I filled in some of the area with some doodling. And then I've been playing with shadowing quite a bit. So I've had some shadowing here and here and here and all along this. And I like doing it. It's kind of scary because at first it looks like it just stands out. But then once your eye moves away from it and comes back again, you see it as a shadow. This one's blank. This one is not done, and that is one thing that I'm finding is I go back to the pages all the time and add stuff. With the exception of this one, I haven't. But here I just come in and I start doodling, and it's certainly not done. And that's the beauty of having the art journal combined with your regular journal. You just pick it up and go with it. So this one is pretty noisy right now, I guess I'd say. And I need to knock some of the color back a little bit. I did here with some white gesso, but I think I need to do some more. So I'll be working on that throughout the next few months. And then this one is, again, I'm still working on a little bit, but it's closer to finished. What I did on this was I used a Jane Davenport napkin. So here's the image right here. And I put it on a Tisha Moore graphic right there. And then I had the legs. This was a piece that I had sitting on my desk. And then these were some colored circles. And I just, started putting them all together. Did the writing. The best time to begin journaling is whenever you decide to. I like that. And then I just started filling in the background with circles and dots and things like that. Some swirls here, and just filled in coloring the hair. So I like the way that one turned out. So that's as far as I've gotten on my art journaling. And when we come back next month, I'll show you again if I've made any changes. Now it's time for tips and tricks. Okay, Deborah, Shannon, and Cassie, this might prove helpful for you. When you are working on your journal and you want to put frames like this, and you remember how I told you I had doodled these? Well, here's some suggestions to help you if you don't feel like you can doodle it. So there's a couple ways you can go. You can, of course, use a ruler. That's the easy way, and just draw, your lines and whatever you need there. The other thing is to go into PowerPoint, if you have that, probably even Microsoft Word, and there are frames and clip art that you can use, and you can just print them out, and you can actually trim these close and just put them down on your journal if you like, or you could use them as templates and just trace around them and use them in your journal. So that would give you an opportunity to do some placement to get them where you might want them. So that's a suggestion. The other thing is to use something like this. I have this from my old scrapbooking days. And I actually did, in this journal, used some of these. Like there's that circle. So you could do something like that as well. Or if you have larger size punches or dies, you could use those as well. They would give you either templates or actually use them just like this and glue them down into your journal and just go ahead and write on those. So hopefully that's something that gave you some ideas that was helpful. Here's the second tip. So I mentioned that these are the color swatches that I used in my journal, in my daily journal. And yes, you could cut them out. It's kind of a pain, and you can tear them. But this makes it super simple. You just take a small paintbrush and get it kind of wet, and then you just draw around. So you're just getting that spot wet where whatever you want, and it just tears right where you had the water. It makes it really easy, and I don't go too far ahead because you don't want it to wick too bad. And I know I'm left-handed and probably blocking some of this for you, but it makes it give that ragged edge, which is what you want generally when you're going to put these down in, using a collage medium, either some kind of a matte medium or Mod Podge. And don't forget to separate, if you're using a napkin, don't forget to separate them before you put anything down. And the water just, if you don't tear into it, it just will dry and it'll be fine. So just a little tip there. Try that if you've got something that you're going to need to be cutting out. You don't want to actually cut it, but you want to tear it. Just do a little line with a wet brush. And finally, Nancy and Jennifer, this is for you. This is a little sneak of what I'm going to be doing in next month for the collage part of the journal. So some bits and pieces for you to look at, and I'll show you how those all come together into a collage piece. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video. Bye for now.